guys, what we got so far. Got the skid steer down here, tractor and backhoe down here. So I did some digging, kind of scraped the dirt off in front of the door, hooked onto it with a chain, pulled it just a little bit. Didn't seem like I really want to pull it well. So then I had to go back. I dug off the sod back here to try to get a dry area for the skid steer. It was kind of spinning a little bit. And then I decided to try something different with the chain, so I put the chain up over the bucket, and I was able to pick the whole shed up, and I put a 3-inch PVC pipe under there. And I'm going to try to get this other one maybe back in the middle somewhere. We'll see. The other end's kind of messed up. It's got that shed on there a little bit, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to get the other end or not. But what I want to do is try to get as much of the shed to move as easy as possible. Now I'm going to try to get these two under there, try to move it. If it doesn't move too well, then I'll probably end up ripping the shed off and trying to get to both sides and then just bring it all out at once, which would probably might be easier. But as usual, I am by myself, so I'm trying to figure out how to do it by myself. And we're going to see what happens here in a minute. Well, guys, this is what we got today. We took the shed, climbed up there, took the steel off the roof, pried the nails out of the header board up there, whatever you call it, where it was anchored in the shed, and got it all pried apart on this side over here. And then just took the tractor and bucket and just gave a little smack on the corner, and down she comes. So this part actually came off pretty well, and it looks like we're going to be able to just pick all this up out of here. It's one advantage, it was all nailed on with a nail gun, so it really wasn't too bad as far as tearing it down. You can see it kind of fell apart as it came down. No big deal. We're just going to kind of salvage what we can salvage and not really worry about the rest of it. And then we're going to be able to take the skid steer in here right where this floor is, hopefully take the skid steer right in and pick this end up. Then we'll have both ends up off the ground, and then we can figure out what we're going to do, whether we're going to put wheels on it, we're going to put logs on it, what we're going to do to get it out of there. It's got to come out, and it's got to skid sideways, and then got to skid long ways some. So I mean, it's like a two-step process. If you can pull it right now, we can pull it long ways, but there's nowhere to go. So we got to figure out so we can be able to pull it horizontal. But that's what we got. It wasn't too bad of a job. We'll get this all done. It's a nice day for it after work. We'll get as much of this picked up as we can get picked up, and we'll come back tomorrow and try the next thing. Well, guys, it's November 19th, Sunday. It's just before noon. So we're back down here at the shed project. Went and got some bolts the other day. I think it was Thursday. It rained on Friday. And didn't get a chance to work on Saturday. So we're down here on Sunday. And I'm going to show you what we got. We got the shed, cut some pieces from an ash tree that fell down, made some skids, picked it up with a skid steer. Had to get the bolts to put the chain on the back of the shed. The bolts I had weren't long enough. So I got some lag bolted the chain to it, picked it up on both sides, got logs underneath it for skids, and we have it all chained up, hooked up. The only thing I need to do is probably going to put some blocks on the back to keep the shed from sliding off the back or falling off the back, because maybe that's a possibility. I don't know. Probably not. It's pretty heavy. I don't know if it's going to move good or not. This is kind of plan A. Plan B was to use some kind of wheels. I found some wheels. I don't think that's going to work because I'd have to make some kind of track or something like that. I'm not real sure about that either. So hopefully it'll skid fairly decent with this setup. So I'm going to turn around, show you that, and then maybe when we get ready to move this thing, we'll get the GoPro set up and you can watch. I do think it's worth mentioning that, I'm doing it by myself. My wife was like, oh, you can't do that by yourself. Well, you can. You just have to plan things, think things out, think them through. I've seen a lot of things on TV and reality shows, things like that they may or may not be true, but some of the stuff they can't fake it. I've seen, on Alaska, the last frontier, saw where they moved a building, they jacked it up, they used cribbing, jacked it up, backed a trailer underneath it, and then did the opposite process when they got it where they wanted it to be. This is kind of the same idea. So turn you around, you can check out what we got so far, and then hopefully we'll come back and finish it later today or another day. All right, so here's the shed. Got my piece of ash under there on both sides. I ran a 2x6 across the top, and I've got that lag bolted. That's just to keep these from these two, in case we pull a little crooked or something like that, keep the two fronts from coming together. Probably gonna cut that one off over there a little bit. But this is what we've got. And then back here, they're both sticking through. Got a lot of junk to pick up that was all just laying in the shed and whatnot. But they're just sticking through about a foot or so. Gonna take a couple blocks, couple legs, put a couple blocks on the back just to hold it there. I don't think it's gonna slide off, but you never know. I got my chain run out here to the front, and we're probably actually gonna try to use the tractor to pull it, because the skid steer does not have a hook on the bucket. But that's what we got. And then the idea is we have to move it, I think we have to move it about 8 to 10 feet forward, and then actually move it up towards me, up towards where I'm standing right now, about probably 6 or 8 feet. Probably if I can get the corner right here where I'm standing, that'd probably be perfect. Well, we'll see how it goes. We'll probably check back in maybe today, I'm not sure, but got a few days coming up from school off for Thanksgiving and whatnot. That's the plan. I don't really care what anybody else is doing, but we're in maple mode, and we're just gonna put the throttle down. Okay guys, so this is what we got next. We got 2 pieces of ironwood. Cut them, I needed them. I wanted them to be about 12 foot long. Cut an ironwood down up to the first branch, 22 feet 8 inches. So got these 2 cut about 11 foot 3.5 or something like that with the chainsaw, and we're gonna pick up each side of this and lay them under there and try to pull this out Egyptian style. We'll see how it goes.